pals, it's your girl Mickey, and I am really excited for today's video because I get to talk about one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. And that is Japan, specifically my upcoming trip to Japan. Also, if I come across as extra hype in today's video, it is because Japan has been my longest running special interest, and it just makes my brain go brr whenever I get to talk about it for a solid 20+ minutes. So I apologize in advance. Alrighty, pulling out my little countdown app. We are officially 5 months out from the trip and I am so excited. So over on my Instagram, please give it a cheeky follow. I promise I update it sometimes when I remember it exists. So I asked if there was anything in particular y'all wanted to know about this trip, and I got a few cues. So let's answer them. Now before I answer this, I'm gonna put a caveat here. I know back when I did my get to know me video and I was all like, I'm gonna mention this once only, and then I'm never gonna mention it again. There is going to be a lot of autism mentions in this video because it is so interwoven into who I am and how I am and the way I am. Yeah, there's no way I'm going to be able to stifle the autism for that long. So if I mention it 10 million times, I'm sorry. Okay, so question 1. Tips for traveling with anxiety/the-tism. Lots and lots and lots of therapy. No, seriously. I've spent the last year in therapy preparing for this trip. Basically, I've been planning this trip since at least 2018. This was way before the pandemic even happened, and either one thing or another came up and I just never had the money to be able to put it aside to start saving up for the trip. And then the pandemic happened and then I was like, oh, well, what's even the point? I'm not going anytime soon. And it was only really around 2023 when things started to calm down that I started to seriously look at the trip, and I was like, either I'm going to go in the next 2 years or I'm not going at all, because it was starting to feel like I was just never going to go. So originally I was going to go with my sister, and I was like, I don't want to put that pressure on you to be like, you have to feel like you have to come with me just because I'm autistic and whatever. So I took my ass to therapy and I have spent the last year working through my separation anxiety and my generalized anxiety and just general tism things to get me mentally prepared and ready for this trip. But I'm honestly feeling pretty confident because Japan, again, it has been my longest running special interest / hyperfixation. We're talking over a decade at this point, okay? And I have done so much research into the country, their culture, their customs, the language, the food, the society. I have researched so much. So I'm feeling pretty confident in my ability to go solo. This is going to be my first solo international trip as an adult. Well, I mean, in general. I went to the UK when I was 9 with my family, once. But that's completely different. This is the whole other ballpark. I am completely reliant on myself and myself only, so it's going to be an interesting experience, that is for sure. All jokes aside, in case of emergency, I do have a few backup plans in place, and the main one being these. These are natural anti-stress anxiety gummies. They are not weed. They are made from a bunch of different plants, flowers and herbs. But they are all natural. Because fun fact, with my autism, I actually can't swallow medication. I bring it up every single time, and I have tried, okay? It is not a mental block, it is not a phobia, it is not anything. Every couple of years I will get so sick with a cold or bronchitis or something, and I'll be like, I am desperate for relief, and I will try every single time. I gag. I can't. I just, tablets and liquid, I just can't swallow it. So my only options for medication are either injections or gummies. And yes, I have ended up in hospital for a week on IV antibiotics because of this exact issue. But yeah, so fun times. So there's that, and then also I've got a magnesium oil roll-on that is also a muscle relaxant, and it is really good. So yeah, basically my backup plan is natural remedies. So I will let you know how that goes come November. But yeah, so there's that, and also like FaceTime. Like, we are in a digital age after all, so you know, I'm gonna be FaceTiming my mum like every 10 minutes at this rate, and you know, my friends, and just like, I'm going to be fine, okay? Like, I have done so much research. But yeah, that is pretty much my advice for solo traveling with anxiety / the tism, is just research. Just do all the things. Like my Google Doc, like I'll insert like a screen recording here, because like I'm currently like fixing up my Google Doc, but this Google Doc has been in the works since pretty much like 2018, and I have literally every single link for things that you wouldn't even think about. Like, I have a link in here on how to use a Japanese stove, because back in the early days of when I was planning this trip, I thought I was going to stay in an Airbnb with a kitchen, because I was like, then that way I can at least cook some food so I don't have to rely on like fast food or convenience store food for the whole week that I'm there. And I then started to panic and was like, how do Japanese stoves work? Because I've seen so many videos where Japanese stoves have like a push button click, and I've only ever had gas knobs, and I'm like, what if it's like a touch panel? What if it's a push button? What if it's not a gas knob? I personally find it hilarious that I will go to these extents, because it's like, girl, you are so mentally unwell. Oh, but anyway, you know, so I've got like how to turn on a Japanese stove for both common types, how a Japanese toilet works, what to do if an earthquake happens and I'm out and about. Yeah, and then I just started going down rabbit holes about elevators, because I actually hate elevators with a burning passion. And like, no, it's not the claustrophobia, like anxiety for elevators, it's more of the irrational fear of, what if I suddenly plummet to my death while in this elevator? So yeah, basically 101 Google links for every possible calamity that could ever occur, if even possible. And I haven't even watched Final Destinations, but I'm planning this as if it's a Final Destinations movie from just what I've heard about the trailers. So yeah, basically research and try not to lose your mind. Question number 2. How did you save / budget for this trip? Okay, so first things first, I am unemployed because of my autism. And no, I am not a trust fund baby, as much as I wish I was. And no, I do not have a sugar daddy, as much as I wish I had one. I've had a few part-time jobs over the years. I have given it an honest try. And me and part-time work, just work in general, we do not get along. We just do not work, and I am unfortunately part of that statistic of autistic people that is unemployed. So I am very thankful to live in Australia and to be able to have a disability pension. I do still live with my parents, and there is nothing wrong with still living with your parents. I am not ready to move out mentally or, you know, emotionally. I am not ready. But I do give them like a large portion of that pension, like at least 85% of it, to them to cover like my expenses of if I was living alone. So it covers, you know, like my bills, my food, and, you know, my rent. And then what's left, the other 15%, math is not my strong suit, I keep as pocket money. And I have just been budgeting and saving and putting it away, because I also don't drive a car, so I don't really have any big expenses like the average person. So I am also very lucky in that regard. So before the pandemic, I had saved up about $2,000, I think, just here and there over the years, you know, putting $10 aside here, $50 aside there, just kind of, you know, just slowly accumulating it over the years. And again, I did have a couple of part-time jobs, so I did put some of my paycheck into that, but again, the part-time jobs only lasted 6 months, if that, so like, it's not like I was like an indentured employee for multiple years. Like, they did not work out. Fun fact, I was meant to go to Japan in 2022 and well, we know what the world was like in 2022, don't we? And by the time 2023 rolled around, things started to like calm down, things were opening up again, and the world was starting to get back to normal, kinda. So I started to like seriously look at the trip, and I was like, alright, we are officially like a changing trajectory. It's like, it is no longer going to be a one day I'm going to go, it's going to be no, we are going. I am absolutely going within like the next year and a bit, absolutely, 100,000%. And yeah, for the last 2-ish years, I've just been putting like a couple hundred aside each month, and that's it. That's the big secret. It's just putting $100 aside each fortnight and just watching it grow. I'm already a very frugal person, and I don't have a problem with saving up for things that I really, really want. So that's the big old secret. But yeah, the big secret is just have discipline. That's all it really boils down to, is to have the discipline and the self-control to not go and, you know, sign up for every credit card that you see and every, like, you know, paying for promotion that you see. But yeah, I saw Confessions of a Shopaholic like once as a child, and it basically stuck with me for life, and I was like, yeah, I'm never signing up for credit cards. And also my parents are very like anti-credit card, so my whole life I have grown up with them being like, do not ever get a credit card, don't fall for it, credit cards are bad. And basically I took that wisdom to heart as a very impressionable, autistic, spicy-brained child. And yeah, I have never touched a credit card in my life, and I prefer cash over debit because it's easier to budget. It was just a matter of putting my mind to it and deciding that I wanted to save up this exact large random amount for the trip, and that was it. So question number 3, what stop on your itinerary are you most excited for? Okay, so there are several places that I am very excited for, but the top 2, because they are tied in my brain and I cannot pick just one. But obviously the first place, or well, places, is obviously all of the stationery stores in Japan, because if anyone is going to do stationery right, it is going to be the Japanese and just the Asians in general, but I love Japanese stationery so much. But anyway, I'm very excited to go to Loft specifically because it just looks so cool, and they've got so many goodies and so many tapes and just And I know I mention this every single time I go to Daiso or I mention Japan. I really am gonna buy so many stickers and washi tape, and just stationery is my one true love in this world, I think. That and potatoes. But like, just stickers and washi tape. Like, I am going to be vlogging the trip, like, don't you worry, like, there are going to be so many Japan vlogs, because I will be personally annoyed at myself if I do not vlog the trip, because I got into the bad habit when I was a teenager and I just didn't document my teen years. I got really bad, like, camera anxiety and just anxiety in general and just regular teenage moodiness, and I was like, I don't want to be on camera, I don't want any photos taken of me, I don't want any videos taken of me, I don't want anyone to see me, I don't want to be perceived. And yeah, now in my 20s, and I'd have like very, very limited documentation of my actual teen years, and I honestly regret it. I regret not documenting more of my teen years when I was a teenager, but what can I do? So I am changing that now, and I am finally doing the YouTube thing after saying for years that I wanted to do the YouTube thing, and I am finally documenting my life. But yeah, so there's going to be Japan vlogs, there's going to be plenty of them, but there's gonna be one, and it's gonna be just straight up stationery stores. I apologize now if it's literally just a 40-minute vlog and it's just me screaming over stickers and washi tape and it's all time-lapsed. But oh, I just love stickers so much, man. I just love collecting them, okay? They bring me joy. And then as for the other place, it has to be Fabric Town, of course. I mean, hello? It is a 5-kilometer stretch, I'll put the freedom numbers here, of just wall-to-wall fabric stalls. It is a dream come true, honestly. Like, oh, amazing. I cannot wait. I am going to buy so much fabric. I have set myself a strict budget because I have a limited weight for my suitcase. Oh, but yeah. Fabric Town and stationery stores are like my main places that I am very excited and very hyped to go to. So just Question number 4, packing essentials. Okay, so I'm gonna sound just a little bit crazy, but then again, I am autistic, and as life likes to keep reminding me, this is just a part of the whole deal with being autistic. But I am taking my bedding. Yeah. Well, at least a part of it. So I hate cotton bed sheets, like the fitted bed sheets over your mattress. I cannot stand them, like the crisp crunchiness of them. But then the absolute ironic part is that I love cotton clothing, but I hate cotton bed sheets. The irony, I know. I don't know how I can explain it, but just... Anyway, I sleep on flannelette all year round. So originally I was gonna take just the flat, like, top sheet that comes in the set when you buy bedding, because I never use the flat top sheet. And then I just happened to see an Instagram reel like a year or so ago of this husband that surprised his wife with like a silk sleeping sack. It was like 2 silk like sheets like sewn into like a weird pouch that opened on one side so that she would stop getting fake tan all over the bedding. So it was basically like this little pouch to like protect the bed and the bedding. And I was like, that's actually a really good idea. So I took the 2 flat sheets, because I had another set of bedding as well, and I took the 2 flat sheets and I sewed them together and I created a sack, and I tried them out when I did my solo trip in Melbourne, and I have never had a better sleep away from home in my life. It was fantastic. I have never slept more soundly or more comfortably. So I am taking my sleeping sack because I cannot stand cotton bed sheets. And I am also taking my own pillows. Yes, pillows, the plural, because I sleep with a regular pillow and then also 2 old like decorative like couch throw cushions that I have perfectly flattened and shaped to the back of my head for like the last 20-something years since I was a literal child. So I am also taking those with me because I am like, I need to make sure that I can have a good sleep. Like, you think this is crazy? When I was in hospital for that week on IV antibiotics, I literally texted my dad because when I got transferred from the local hospital to a bigger one because I had to have surgery of all things because my infection got... It's a whole... Like, I have to do a story time on it, but honestly, I was in there for a week on the IV antibiotics, and I literally, like, you know, my parents were like, do you want us to bring you anything? And I deadass texted them and was like, bring one of my doonas, one of my, like, sleeping blanket quilts, because at the hospital they just had thin little blankets, and I was like, I need weighted blankets. I was like, please bring one of my doonas so that I can actually sleep. And just... The nurses thought it was fantastic. They're like, you're so prepared, you brought your own bedding and everything. And I'm like, I'm just autistic. But other than those 2 things, I am also taking a ton of snacks and shelf-stable food because despite how much I love Japan, I actually don't like the food that much, which is very unfortunate. And it is 40% is largely because it is not gluten-free, and it is very hard to find gluten-free food in Japan. I know, ironic considering it's the land of rice and fish, but like, Anyway, and then the other 60% is literally just the autism being a butt, and it's like, I have the palate of a toddler. Where is the microwave mac and cheese? And it's like, you are in a foreign country. Yeah, like there are a few dishes that I am gonna try. Like I do want to try Japanese curry at least once, because there is a chain in Japan that has an allergy-free curry, so I do want to try that at least once. But just as an emergency backup and as a precaution, because like literally I have the palate of a toddler, I am bringing a bunch of shelf-stable stuff, and like it's literally like potato chips, you know, 2-minute cup of noodles, and like protein chocolate nut bars, just, you know, super basic stuff so that I won't have to live off just peanut butter sandwiches for a solid week, or boiled eggs, because again, gluten, but yeah. So those are the main packing essentials that I am taking, and I would honestly pack anywhere where I am going. I am a chronic overpacker, and I also have another video planned where I will show you everything that I am taking with me to Japan, because I feel like that'd be a really interesting video to see. So, and that concludes our little Q&A session for the time being. So I favorited this back in my summer favorites, but we're pulling out the day planner again, my bad boy, my physical planner, because I saw a TikTok and this girl was like, guys, you should take your Google Doc for your Japan trip or just any holiday that you're planning, and you should print it out and physically turn it into a book so that you have like a physical hard copy on you. And I was like, that is such a smart idea, because my paranoid, anxious ass was, again, remember the Google Doc and how I said I have literally every link for every possible calamity that could happen? I'm like, what if my phone doesn't connect to the Wi-Fi that I'm renting? Because I'm gonna rent a pocket Wi-Fi. And I'm like, what if my phone doesn't connect to the Wi-Fi? What if I need it right now in this very minute and I don't have internet, or like, you know, some calamity, some disaster. Anyway, I am in the middle of printing out my Google Doc, and I am turning it into a beautiful well, not a PDF, but like printouts, and like I'll put a couple of screenshots here of what they look like, but they're all color coordinated and beautiful, and just, I just love an excuse to make a pretty stationery, man. Anyway, I printed out, I did write up my itinerary, and I am now in the middle of rewriting it, because I ended up changing several parts of it, mainly the like how I'm getting to the airport part, and just a couple of the days have been swapped around, and also I cannot read my own handwriting to save my life. So yeah, I'm now typing it up, so I'll be reprinting it, but a lot of this is still, you know, the same, so I am just gonna pretty much read off this because a lot of it is the same. So but also, while I'm zoomed in this close, can we please take a moment to appreciate how delusional I am? Like, again, this page is old, like this page doesn't exist anymore, so I can show you, but like I have it planned by the hour what I'm having. Like, even like, is it on this page or the next one? Yeah, here, look. 6:20 a.m. have a cry and panic. Like, I'm literally scheduled in a cry break. So with the whole Japan trip, I am leaving on Monday the 17th of November, and I will get back into Melbourne the following Tuesday, because it'll be an overnight flight coming back, but going over it's a morning flight, and I'll arrive in Japan like in the evening at like 5 p.m. So anyway, originally I was going to just, you know, be here at home, and I was gonna like take like a train and a bus to the airport, because like driving into Melbourne is a nightmare. And just everything, and like it would have been like a 3:30 a.m. wake up in order to be ready and out the door and in the city in time for check-in, because you have to be at check-in at the airport at least 2 hours before your international flight. Anyway, So my paranoid, anxious ass was like, that is gonna be so stressful. That's why I literally scheduled in a 20-minute cry break, because my anxiety is gonna be through the roof. So I was kind of like, maybe if I reverse psychology myself, I won't end up panicking, but wishful thinking indeed. Anyway, I then happened across this other YouTuber, Catherine, and I love her vlogs. She just made an offhand comment in her departure day vlog, and she was like, so I'm currently packing up to leave the hotel that's attached to the airport, so that I just gotta go straight over the laneway and there's the airport and I can check in. And I'm like, do we have a hotel attached to our airport in Melbourne? Like, the way I went running to booking.com, the answer is yes. Yes, we have a hotel attached to the airport. So I am now going to go to the airport the day before on the Sunday, and I will get there at like 2:30, 3 p.m. check in, and I can just be relaxed and calm and just... Yeah, anyway, I am staying overnight at the airport hotel, and then it is literally like 150 meters to the like international terminal check-in thingy. So it's going to be way less stressful, and then that way I don't need to be worried about trains being delayed or buses running late, and or again, any other like calamity that could possibly happen, I have already thought about and panicked over. But anyway, so that's why this page is no longer applicable, because I'm already at the airport. So haha. Anyway, so Tuesday is going to be my first like full proper day, the day that I'm very excited for, because we're going to the stationery stores. Okay, so literally I have it here, 7:40 to 8:15 a.m. wake up, 8:40 to 9 a.m. breakfast. You know, it's like take the train and go and do all of the shopping and just all of the things. I do need to update this because it says here that I'm going to a gluten-free bakery for lunch, but I found out that they're closed on Tuesdays, so need to change that. Yeah, so it's pretty much just shop, check out, shop, have a snack, shop, check out, be back at the hotel by 4, have a nap because you are an old man, and then in bed by 11 p.m. Wednesday, I am potentially going to be doing Fabric Town, and very excited for that. Again, some of these days are probably going to be moved around and swapped around depending on if I can get tickets for certain attractions, because as you know, if you want the tickets for the fancy places, you got to wait at least a month, if not 2 months before you go, and I am really trying to get the tickets for the Studio Ghibli Museum. Pray for me, y'all, pray for me. So anyway, if I am able to get those tickets for the Ghibli Museum, I'm also going to like be moving these days around so they're not like 100% set in stone, but I am just that particular, and I was like, this brings me calm and comfort by having it planned out by the hour. I'm not too fussed with doing the whole like touristy sightseeing thing, like, oh, let's go to Mount Fuji and let's have a day trip to like Hakone and go to like all these other places, let's go to Kyoto or Osaka. No, I'm literally going to Tokyo for like, I think it's 8 days, including my travel days. Yeah, like 8 days. No, sorry, 7 days. And I'm just going for shopping. Like, I have been saving for this trip for like 4 years now, on and off, but consistent for the last 2 years. And I'm like, I just want to go and I just want to shop. I just want to shop so bad. The limousine bus from Shibuya to the airport and just pretty much hang around at the airport for like 5 hours because I'm paranoid. So yeah, I'm sure I'll find something to do in the duty-free section. But maybe I'll start editing my Japan vlogs. Who knows? But yeah, anyway, so that is my beautiful itinerary, and I am going to be pretty much like taking my things out of, you know, my day planner when the trip comes and putting all of my printouts in here so that I can just use the shell of this, because there's no need for me to buy a whole other book when I have a perfectly good one right here. Like, yeah, so that is the itinerary.
And now for the suitcase review that I totally didn't forget to film because my camera battery died on me. Anyway, this is the large glide suitcase from Zoom Light in the colour rose. Before I even booked the flights, I knew I wanted to get a nice suitcase to mark this monumental moment, and the one requirement I had was that this suitcase be a hatch top instead of a clamshell, which means it opens from the top instead of in half like a regular suitcase. And after looking around for a while, I was delighted when I found Zoomlight, not sponsored, and I loved that other than just regular suitcase colours like grey and navy, they also had a bright yellow that I was tempted by, but they ended up updating the shade of pink the rose suitcase was before I ordered, and this shade is gorgeous! It's so dreamy. As for the depth, it's perfect. I can fit a carry-on suitcase inside with room to spare, and I like how many internal pockets it has. Overall, this suitcase is perfect and I can't wait to take it on many adventures. So, editing Mickey here. I don't know what happened, but somehow my camera deleted the ending clip I filmed for this video, so enjoy the still image, I guess. If you made it through the whole video, I commend you, truly. Until next time. Bye bye!